I'm Anita Casalina, and this is Earth 2.0. With all of the global challenges we're facing, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. What can each of us do to help? Can one person really make a difference? That's exactly why the phrase think globally and act locally can be a guide for those of us who want to contribute to making a better planet. Our personal actions and our local accomplishments add to the whole of building a more peaceful and sustainable Earth. My guest Shannon Parkhurst understood this when she started the Lemon Aide Project, serving people locally in ways that they need. Hi, Shannon.
Hi there, how are you?
I'm good. I'm just so happy to have you with me. I can't wait to hear more about the Lemon Aide Project. And tell us all about it. How did you come up with this idea, and what do you do?
I'm actually a mother. And when I was pregnant, I found myself in a situation where I was in need and there were no resources for me. And I decided to take it upon myself and try to open a nonprofit. It was a little bit harder than you would imagine. So it took me about a year, and I needed to find a steady crew and a lot of people who were trustworthy. That's huge. Trust is big with a nonprofit. And it took about 2 years, and now we are finally a full 501c3 helping all of California. So it's not just the Bay Area, and we hope to become national. What we do is we have multiple funds. So we have separate projects we are working on. One big campaign right now is the opioid campaign. There's been a lot of lives lost to fentanyl recently. It's a massive epidemic. 128 lives at least are lost daily. So we have that, and that's actually a little bit more specific, and there's a personal story.
Yeah, well, let's go back just for a moment, because I want people to know. So you needed things when you were pregnant. You weren't
Absolutely.
able to get what you needed, and you decided, somebody needs to offer when people are in need. Find out what the need is and help them. So you started a 501c3, which is a nonprofit. You have a co-founder with you who works with you, or a team.
Yeah, she's my VP, and
Yeah.
she's basically my life. Chelsea Santa Maria, she's been with me since the beginning, since I had the idea to start this. And it honestly started from a crowdfunding page on Facebook. I had to crowdfund for the funds in order to create the organization. And I had enough people behind me and seeing what I was doing and who I was helping. And I got the push to go through with it. So if it wasn't for the community and everybody else around me as well, this would not exist.
It's so exciting. You must have really touched the hearts of people that they were willing to put money into what you're talking about. So let's talk about some specific needs that you've been able to fill. So let's start with something small, and then we'll work up, because I've read a little bit about you.
So just recently, we had to give a computer to a family who was forced to social distance educate, which when you're forced to social distance educate, you can't just assume that that family has what they need in order to learn. This family was being told they need to be on the computer this hour through this hour, complete this project. They weren't even going to school because they didn't have the computer.
Oh, so that's the digital divide that we hear about that often cuts down through racial and ethnic lines, poverty.
Yes.
And there's that assumption by school districts that all children have computers.
Absolutely. Thank goodness for Union Pacific. They granted us $25,000 for the Coronavirus Relief Fund. And thank goodness for them because they have helped beyond words.
That brings up a question I was going to ask you, which is, so you started with the crowdfund. You began with crowdfunding from Facebook, but in order to do some of the bigger projects, you had to start writing grants and get money from corporations that had lots of money, I would think. So this is one that they gave you $25,000, and you're able to parse that out and give grants where people need help, right?
Correct. So it's called an LOI. I write a letter of intent and I funnel them out and try to solicit other foundations or other places that do have grants, big organizations. A lot of people do want to see that you have helped already. We are a grassroots organization, so we really have to pull by the buckle and show that we are doing everything we say we are doing. So, like I said, it's about truth, it's about honesty, and it's about respect. You really have to have trust with the community and trust in the organization. So, we're just going to stay true to ourselves and continue to help people and hopefully become national.
It's amazing. And so, what are some other projects that you've been able to help? What are some other families and other needs you've been able to fill?
Well, the needs are all over the place. I'd say another one that was very sad that just happened due to COVID as well. A mother was carrying a stillborn child. She was unaware due to not being able to go to sonograms because of coronavirus. She had been unable to bury her child. There was no funeral access. There, she was not able to do anything that she wanted, and she was told to cremate her child, which was against her religion. So we took forward and we took initiative. We moved forward and called them and explained the situation, and that this mother had not only lost her child, she doesn't want to have to break her religion in order to bury her child, or in her words, put her child into ashes. So we fought tooth and neck and we worked with the community. Their city allowed the child to be buried with the husband next to her, and we fully funded that funeral.
That's really amazing. That's very, very moving. Yeah, that's, as you say, the needs are all over the place. I read on your website about a woman whose children had been kidnapped and taken to Mexico. That was
That
another
was our
one.
largest fund
That
thus
was a
far. I
big
believe
one.
that went over $10,000. So that one started, it was kind of a blind fund. We no longer do those.
What does that mean?
She gave me minimal information. I did know that the proof her children had been kidnapped. I didn't know much more information. I did know her father um, was contacting me as well, saying the grandchildren were in danger. We located the children. They were kidnapped. They were being held in child services, and their father had kidnapped them and taken them to Mexico. The father had been arrested.
How were you able to locate them? Did you hire a detective to do this?
We were back and forth talking to this woman, Faith, and she was giving us phone numbers left and right, just saying, "My kids are here. Please help me. Please help me." And we had to do everything we could. It was a little difficult. We needed translators. So I had to find Spanish speakers and make sure that what was happening was accurate. Now, due to customs, we did buy plane tickets that ended up not being used. So she was stuck there for a while, and the kids were stuck there for a while as well. So we ended up having to funnel a lot more money than we thought was going to need to go into it. Long story short, we have all of her kids back in the United States, and they are no longer in danger.
Oh, my gosh, it's just, that's breathtaking. That's like a movie.
Honestly, from the start to finish, it is like a movie.
Most of your funding is coming from organizations now, or do you still do the crowdfunding as well?
We actually fundraise every way that we can. I try to be a marketing mogul and shoot my way and explain, if you help fund us, you are saving somebody's life. And I just have to explain who they're helping and why. And you'd be surprised, from companies to organizations to your neighbor. Everybody wants to help.
This is what I think about, is how big the problems on earth are and how overwhelming that can be, and how when you break it down to something that's so small and right in front of your face, that you can make a change. You know that you're contributing to the big picture. It's huge. It makes a big difference. It's really relieving, I think, to the soul when we know that, to the heart, to the soul, that we're like, okay, I was able to do that. I gave Shannon $200 and that's going to be used towards this. So that's wonderful. How do people in need find you? How does that happen?
Well, like I said, I'm working on being the marketing mogul, so have to put myself out there on Google, on Yelp, anywhere that people are, hey, I need help. And a lot of people on apps. Um, I do know Facebook, we have a big following. So I'm pretty sure that people have been looking at that and our website. I've been working really hard to make our website very sturdy, explaining what we do, what we're planning to do, because I do have multiple projects that we didn't even touch upon. It's a big goal and we have big plans and ideas. It's just a follow through. So,
Is there anything else you'd like to share with the audience about another project or something else you're working on?
you know what's really awesome is our power outage fund. We just got told that for the next 10 years, we're going to be implemented with rolling power outages due to the fire season. A lot of people lost their food. A lot of people don't have lights. A lot of people don't have showers because when their electricity turns off, their gas and power, it's all one and the same. So we want to be there to help people who may have loss of food due to things going bad, people who won't be able to supply the needs of multiple power outages.
Yeah, it's a daunting thing to think about with the fact that PG&E still hasn't repaired their lines, and there's weather changes here on the West Coast now in California. Every autumn we have this kind of thing start up. You have a lot to think about. You have a lot of work, and you also have a little boy who's now what, 2 is he?
Yes, he's going to be 2 in on Sunday.
Oh my goodness. So it's really wonderful to meet you and be inspired that one person from her own need can think about the needs of so many. I know that the audience is really going to appreciate you as much as I do. So thank you so much, and we'll stay in touch, okay?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay. Thank you so much, Shannon.
Thank you. Have a great day.